Gary, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks very much for inviting us along. We're really excited to be able to come in and have a conversation.
Yeah, no, and I took this course last year, and it was so educational and so much information. I said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to them to see if they'd be interested in spreading the word and the knowledge around.
No, it's great. That's what we do here at Fish Safe Nova Scotia. We're a nonprofit safety organization with the fishing industry. So harvesters, aquaculture, and processing. We work with all of them around occupational health and safety because in each of those sectors, occupational health and safety is different for different things, right? So that's why we're here. We're not for profit. We're not a regulator. We're not part of Department of Labor or Transport Canada. We're here to help, in your case, fishers, harvesters. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and and like I said, it's a great program. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive right into when Fish Safe got started and all that other stuff.
Okay. I am Gary Hunt. I'm the trainer for Fish Safe Nova Scotia, which used to be called Fishery Safety, that started about 14 years ago because of fatalities in the industry and injuries and those types of things. So for us, our goal is, and has been all along, is to educate. Work with the industry to educate around the requirements, either from Transport Canada and or provincial occupational health and safety. And like any small business, it's tough knowing what all the rules and regulations are because they do not give you a book and say, oh, here you go. Here's
Yeah,
everything you need to know, right?
yeah,
They don't do that.
no,
So what has happened over the years is occupational health and safety becomes more and more important in all industries because safety is what brings us all home at the end of the day. So there's rules and regulations that are required to be followed, and that's what we educate on. The Wheelhouse Safety Logbook training course that you attended last year, that's what we do. We have created this Wheelhouse Safety Logbook, and it's a combination of everything that Transport Canada Marine requires for a harvester and also provincial occupational health and safety. And a lot of smaller harvesters think, well, it doesn't apply to me, but it does. You're a small business. That's why you keep records. That's why you keep all your receipts so you can give them to your wife, your partner, your accountant, pay your income tax. You're a business, so the laws apply to you. So we've created this logbook. This organization created it 2017, I'm going to say, in response to the government actually reducing red tape from Transport Canada Marine side with the binders full of regulations. They created the fishing vessel safety regulations. So that applies to all fishing vessels up to 80 feet. So
okay.
that course that you took is good for any vessel up to 80 feet.
And it was, and like I said, it was a fun course. Like it was very informational. Informational. Walk us through a day, like what a course will entail.
So basically, you come to the course, we provide you with everything that you need. We give you the binder. It's a 3-ring binder, just like an old school binder that you would have had when you went to school. And in it is everything. It's all printed, it's all divided out in tabs. And we go through it section by section. It's not hard, but it's hard if you don't know it. That's why we wanted to create this class. So we walk you through each section. You don't fill it out necessarily when you're there, but you're going to make notes. It's homework that you're going to have to do, but you make it applicable to your vessel.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we know there's lots of fishing vessels out there. Each one is unique in what they have. They have to have certain things from Transport Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have PFDs. You might have to have an EPIRB, a raft, etc. So that's all listed in there. we go through each section, the requirements from Transport Canada, maintenance, right? You're changing the oil on the motor in your vessel, jot it down. Doesn't mean you can't do that. You just have to make a note of it, right? You're saving the receipt for your income tax. You just note it that, 5 liters of oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
You changed it. You fixed the light bulb. You note it. Just handwrite it in. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be typed up or anything fancy. Just has to be legible.
2 minutes max is what it should take to
Yeah. And,
to
and
fill
that,
it out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so each section is broke down to meet the requirements. Okay. The other sections that are in there, one is a big one, and we offer this service to any fishing vessel out there, is the emergency drills that are a requirement for Transport Canada. The big email came out October 2023, and we went around and we offer this service. We will come to your vessel and we will do the drills with the captain and that crew. We will go through the drills. We don't put a person in the water. I like to throw my boss in there sometimes, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe he'll go in. But we have a dummy that we fill up with water. Bob, we call him this Bobber, but we call him Bob for short. And he's 150 pounds. And I'm going to tell you what, when he's soaking wringing wet and you're trying to haul him in, it's a lot of work.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so so we do these drills. Part of that requirement with Transport Canada is you have to document them. The forms are all in the logbook. They're
Mm-hmm.
all there. And they want you to be able to practice those drills, because practice is what makes it permanent
Yeah.
in an emergency. Because trust me, when we were doing these man overboard drills, it was a reasonably sunny day or a little bit of wind, blah, blah, blah. But when it hits the fan, it may not be bright and sunny. It could be blowing a gale. It could be
Yeah.
snowing. It could be absolute pouring rain, and you've got a medical emergency. You've got a leak in your vessel. You're taking water on. It could be a number of things. Somebody could be overboard,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to work as a team. So that's why the requirement for those drills is specific to every vessel, right? And
Yeah.
we come and do that, whether you're a member of Fish Safe or not. We come and do it for free with you and your crew.
Now, do you offer this to every port? Like, because I also know you started doing online with the logbook.
Yeah, we offer it at every port. We will come. For the man overboard drills, we ask that you have a couple vessels lined up, because if you're in Cape Breton, I
Yeah.
don't mind driving up. I've been to Cape Breton hundreds of times. But if we're going to do one boat, let's do a couple. It only takes a couple of hours to go
Mm-hmm.
from start to finish, have all your paperwork done. So if Transport Canada shows up, you've got that all done. But yeah, we do a virtual course if you've already got the logbook. Okay. And we also do it in person. We offer it to any fishing group out there. We offer it to the different fishing associations. And I'm going to say by the time you get a lunch break in there, it's probably 5.5 hours. It just depends on the size of the group and the conversations, because
Yeah.
that's part of it, is the conversations too. We
Yeah.
all learn, right?
The questions and everything too might stretch it out a little bit, but that's good though, because someone could make a good point about something, and it's, well, this is why we don't want you to do it that way, or you know what I mean, vice versa.
Exactly. And the other thing is, and when you took yours, Brian White was there
Yes.
from Transport Canada.
Yep.
And we also have, sometimes, I can't remember in your course, we also have from the province, one of the local inspectors will come. Linda was
Yes.
on the vessel with us when we did our man overboard drills. Yeah.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Yeah, Linda Rafuse from up that way. So yeah, we try and bring them in just to have conversations. Because guess what? I don't know everything, and they're the experts. If
Mhm.
I can't answer a question, they're right there.
Yeah.
Right? We're a resource. If I don't know the question, I'll call Brian, or I'll call Rob, or I'll call the province and get the answer for you. Sometimes there's weird things that come up in regulations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were talking earlier, you make a good point there about, like, when we were doing the me and overboard drill, every boat is unique and different. Like, retrieval nets, some had
Yeah.
retrieval nets, some had a ring with, you know,
Yeah, the pub nickel ring as
Yes,
an
that's it.
example. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's really common in southwestern Nova Scotia and up to Halifax area. It's very, very common. You see that on a vessel. But yeah, we also had, when we did the man overboard drills up your way, we had the Dicon frame, but we also had one that Rainbow Netting donated to us, the
Yes.
PVC pipe. And the captain of your vessel, Colin, he's created his own,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is great.
He's pretty crafty like that.
He is. He is. I
Yeah.
can't even do paint by numbers. So,
Yeah.
right, got more than two numbers, I'm in trouble.
So tell us more about the logbooks. Like, what's like, why do people have to have them filled out?
It's a requirement under occupational health and safety regulations under the Shipping Act of Canada. All vessels have to have certain things recorded. Your muster stations, your inspections. Did you check your fire extinguishers? Because you have to have those recertified every year. So it's proof. Being able to say, yes, I did it, that's not acceptable. Yes, I did it, and here's when I did it, and here's a copy of the receipt. Okay? And the same applies to the province because you're under two sets of regulations. You're under Transport Canada Marine because you're a fishing vessel, and you're also under provincial occupational health and safety regulations because you're a small business in the province. And every section in that Wheelhouse Safety Logbook is something that you have to write down and document. Your man overboard drills, your orientation if you're hiring a new fisher, right? You're bringing a crew hand in. You have to do an orientation. All the things that you need to do are in there. It's checklists and note pages that you can write and date everything down. That's the hardest thing. And it's true across all occupational health and safety, whether it's in this industry or construction or trucking, is documentation, dating, and signing. It's the hardest thing. And you heard me say it at our seminars, is the hardest thing you're going to have to do is remember to write stuff down. Right? This is proof from the captain's perspective that this is their due diligence. We did it. Here's the documentation. They can't argue with
it. And everyone kind of goes home safe at the end of the day too. And it covers everybody at the end of the day. You fill it out. You did your drills. Okay, so it's going to cover everybody at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's part of that is if you bring on a new crewman, okay, first time on a vessel, might not have even been into an immersion suit yet. So by doing the drills, they're going to get used to that because they got some time to get their MED training, okay, and they may not like this, so they may not necessarily, end up staying on, but it gives them an idea. But it's important that they know where everything is, where the fire extinguishers are, where the first aid kits are, how to do things, how the vessel runs, how it operates.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's all covered.
Yeah, and that's right. Like, the me and overboard training now. Do you guys practice putting on your survival suits and life jackets?
Yeah, we make them do it. It's a hands-on thing specific to that vessel. We're adding a couple of new features this year. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'm going to tell you what, it's fun.
Okay.
Because that's how we learn as adults. We see it and we do it, right? And it's not the same drill that you might do on Jimmy's boat, right? Or
no, because
Susie's boat.
It's back to what you said earlier. Every boat's unique and different, and you have to. The crew on that boat has to know what to do on that boat. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's what when we offer these services, and I talk about this when we do the Wheelhouse Logbook, is we do it for you and your vessel. It's specific to your vessel. The Wheelhouse Logbook is the same way. It's specific to that vessel.
Now, do you guys offer like CPR training as well, or no? You're just strictly...
Yes, we do it through, we're partnered with St. John Ambulance for first courses. If you're a member company and you pay into WCB as a harvester, okay, 3 employees or more, there's discounts that are available through Fish Safe that you can get your marine first aid training and all of that stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. That's all on our website.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what other courses you guys offer.
We offer, obviously, the Wheelhouse Safety Logbook course. We offer WHMIS, which we'll be doing this year because the WHMIS regulations changed here in Nova Scotia and across the country last year. So 2025, I'll be offering that as part of the courses that we do. We also do forklift courses for people that operate forklifts, like in processing plants, because you have to be certified to operate a forklift.
Okay. Even on the wharf, right?
Yep,
Like, I guess. Okay.
100%. You have
Now,
to have the certification.
Now, do you guys do the same thing as the log house book? Like, if a port calls you up and says, "Hey, we need a forklift training," will you guys come and do that, or do they have to travel to you?
Nope. You got a forklift there, I come and I do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it meets the CSA standard, as does all of our training. We also, for processing plants and other operations, the bigger you are, there's requirements under provincial occupational health and safety that you have to have a safety representative if you have more than 5 employees, or you have to have a safety committee. So we also offer all of that training as well.
Okay. What about MEDs? You guys don't do that? Or?
No, we don't do MEDs. The community colleges, survival systems, there's a few companies out there that specialize in that because you need access to a pool, you need a whole bunch of different things. So we don't do that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the harbor just jumping off the wharf, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. No, it's that's more specific, and we're the safety part of it, which MED is a part of that, but they also cover other topics in the MED.
Now, a question for you, like, so say you put on all these courses for the logbook training, and just say, we'll use a random name, Tommy, couldn't make it, and the season's starting. Yep. What happens if, when they come aboard and they say, "Show me your Wheelhouse logbook"? Do they have a time frame from that day as well to get it, or?
Typically, if the captain has done his due diligence and has started to fill out his logbook, they will educate and say, "Okay, you need to do this a little bit different," or, if you haven't got this done, you need to do it. Okay. But they do not want to see a blank book, because these are all requirements from the province under their regulations and Transport Canada Marine.
Okay.
So they will work with you to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do.
Now, what about at the end of the fishing season? Do they have to submit these logbooks to anybody, or do they just keep filling them out? Or
they just keep on filling them out. So, for example, different parts of the Wheelhouse logbook, some stuff you have to keep for 2 years, some stuff you have to keep for 3 years. Maintenance records, there's a requirement from Transport Canada to keep maintenance records for 7 years. So when your page is full or your pages are full, it's a 3-ring binder. You just take it out, put it in a filing cabinet. Okay. You've got it safe, right? You can go to our website, download a new page. We put extras in every section. But if you were to your last page, you go right on our website and you can download the section, the tab that you need, and everything is there.
Okay. Now, do these books, do they expire, like the log training book? Like, do you have to do like a refresher? You know how you do MEDs every so many years? Is this the same way, or?
There's no requirement, but what I'm just in the process of doing now, for example, with your group, I'm going to reach out to Colin and say, "Okay, Colin, here's the regulations that have changed since we did the last course." Okay. Well, that would be, for example, the Occupational Health and Safety Act has changed. So I will provide everybody with a copy of the new act. The regulations have changed. I will provide everybody with a copy of those. That's just because we're a good organization. It's up to the captain to replace those, but we get them printed. I have them to hand out. There's WHMIS training that has to be done. Okay. There's also a new regulation out that every workplace in Nova Scotia, and a fishing vessel is a workplace, will have to have a respectful workplace policy. So we've got a template that we'll hand out and insert in the Wheelhouse Safety Logbook.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's something that you need to keep up to date, and you have to be aware if the regulations change. And that's what we announce on our social media pages. And I've reached out to Colin to say, hey, I knew last year that the WMIS training was going to be required, but the regulations hadn't changed.
So the women's training is going to be for everybody on the vessel, is it? Like
correct.
a work,
Yeah,
because the workplace
chemicals specific to your vessel. Yeah.
Okay.
And trust me, we make like our Wheelhouse Logbook course. It's not boring. It's
not.
It's a good, and I'm not bragging, but I understand. Trust me, as an occupational health and safety professional, it's a boring topic. I have to make it fun that people will want to attend and learn, but make it a good environment. I do the same thing with women's.
No,
right?
listen, I've learned so much through your course. Like even like when they had, you said her name earlier, Lori, is it? She came with Brian when we did the over. Linda, yeah, like
yes, yeah.
Even like when she said, like, she mentioned about having a high visible reflective arm when you're walking to your boat in the morning. You have to have that. She said that is a requirement.
Yeah,
you can be fined if you're caught without that on.
And that's what people don't grasp that, and that's I usually start out when I start talking and instructing these courses. Where is your workplace? The definition of workplace is not here at my desk.
Mm-hmm.
That's my workplace right now, but later I'm going to go over to Breton's and get some stuff for fire extinguishers, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'm in my car, that becomes my workplace, right?
Yep.
So in your case, what Linda was saying was, you're going across the wharf, that's your workplace, you need to have a reflective safety vest. And that is a requirement. In the workplace, anytime there's mobile equipment or vehicles around, you have to have a reflective CSA approved vest on.
I just have a jacket I leave on in the morning, and then once I hit there, I switch over to my life jacket, and
yeah, that works. It's just one less step.
And now, is that a requirement too, to have your life jacket on all times?
Any time there's a risk of drowning, you need to have it on.
Okay.
And it's a gray area, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many times when you're on deck, you don't think there's a risk of drowning.
Oh, but there's always a risk. There's always a risk.
Right.
When you're on water, there's always a risk.
That's right. And a lot of times you may be tied up at the wharf.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a risk. Because, for example, if you guys were wrapping up your day and you're coming back, you're offloading supplies and stuff, the tide's coming in or out, whatever the case may be, the boat may rise a little bit with the incoming tide or may drop a little bit. There's going to be that space between the edge of the boat and the wharf. You could easily fall over and hit your head, knock yourself out.
And you know what? Everyone's so busy too, trying to
unload. You're in a hurry to go home. You want to get done with your day. We understand that, but it's whenever there's a risk of drowning, you are to wear a PFD. Does it happen? It's getting better all the time, and that's the light that keeps us going. Is it's getting better all the time.
Well, even like courses now, like when I was taking my SVOP and my radio course, like the instructor said, the amount of people now that are knowing about what can happen, and because not being educated properly, and it's like, well, here you go, take it out, and that he said it's incredible. The numbers are actually going up now for people want the safety.
Yeah,
they want to know about it.
There's been enough. Nova Scotia, we've had major fatalities. Westray Mines, that's where it all started, and every industry has suffered serious fatalities. That's why laws are made, and sometimes that's why it takes so long to get a law in, because they have to craft it, and it just takes time. But any law that's already in place is because someone was seriously injured or in a workplace.
Yeah, and like I said, not just being educated, right? Like I've learned so much from you wouldn't think like just how to fill out a book, but you learn so much. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe we should have to do this.
Conversations that we have. we all bring different experiences, right? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you don't think about it and you say, that makes sense. Oh, right. Oh, this makes sense. For example, a fire extinguisher. There's a lot of people out there that don't think that they should have one at home. Well, you should,
Oh, absolutely.
right? You should have a
Absolutely.
couple at home
Mm-hmm.
because two things, if you have a kitchen fire, you need to put it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And second thing is if you're trapped in your bedroom and you need a way out, well, there's a window.
Where's
Use
the
your fire
ladder?
extinguisher,
Yeah.
feed out the window,
Window. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's just different things when we do the training, the practical experience that I bring, but I also learn from everybody that attends,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, absolutely. 'Cause they're out
It's
there too all the time, and it's, well, this happens. Like, whoa, that really happened. Like, yeah, like
it's a
you would never
shared
think,
it's a
right?
shared environment. And that's why when we do our training, we want as much input from everybody that's there to
Mm-hmm.
share the stories and the experiences because you guys had the experience of all the on water stuff, right?
Yep. You bring it to you guys, and it's like, well, how can we make this better? How can we teach about it, prevent it from happening?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it's good. Like, well, again, I'll just use the name Tommy. He's on Jimmy's boat over there. Now he's coming over to our boat. It's
Yeah.
like, you know how to use this? Oh, yeah, I used it on his boat, but it could be a different, you know what I mean? So you have to have those drills for someone new, regardless how many years they fished for. Every boat is
And you
different.
do a walkthrough. Like your workplace is different than Susie's or Tommy's boat. So
Mm-hmm.
you say, here's the gaff. Here's the rescue net. This is how this works. It's not the same as the one you have on your vessel because it's customized for us and our hauler or whatever the case may be.
Well, every
Here's where
retrieval net is different, right? Like,
yeah,
we
here's where
used
the
a few of them
stage
last
feed
year.
is. Here's the fuel shutoffs,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you got to cut the fuel, here's the shutoffs,
Yeah.
right? So there's always differences, and we have a checklist in the Wheelhouse Logbook that addresses all of those things.
And it takes like 30 seconds to show somebody, here's this switch. Here's your fuel. Like, if I'm busy and I can't get to it because
Yep.
I'm doing something else, and,
Right.
Yep. As long as you know.
Right. And it's those conversations when we're doing the emergency drills that we have those conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to operate the radio? Does someone, if it's the captain that's in the water or has had a medical emergency, does someone know how to navigate?
That's a big thing because a lot don't, right? Like,
Right.
they just
So
show up
it's
because they're
the
going
things,
fishing for the day.
it's the things that you don't think about until the situation happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, can anyone take this logbook course, or is it just for captains?
No, we give the logbook out to the captain, but anybody can attend. And sometimes there's literacy issues in different groups.
Yep.
I came out of the trucking world and
Mm-hmm.
was doing occupational health and safety over there. I know many truck drivers that have trouble reading
Mm-hmm.
books and stuff like that. So, but they can drive New York City or they can drive
No
to
problem,
no problem, right? They adapt. So sometimes there's somebody else there that will help fill out the book. That's okay.
Okay.
It's all good. It's anybody can attend, but the captain of the vessel is their responsibility to have that book on board, okay, and to have it accurately filled out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. No, like I said, it's great that the safeties, because, looking at that incident down Newfoundland that time, the fisherman, the boat capsized or something, you know what I'm talking about? I
Yep.
think it was like how many days they spend in a raft, but I think they all had their MED, and
They
they were all
all survive.
yep.
Yay. That's a huge win,
Yeah.
right? It's
Everyone got home to their families.
right. Right. And that's that's the important thing is, but you can tell that they were practicing their drills.
Yep.
They were doing things, right? And that's why the practice of the drills is so important.
You don't think it can happen to you, but it can. Absolutely. It doesn't matter how far you are from the shoreline, it can happen.
Yep.
What if a boat can't get we're out in the water with like 20 other vessels, fishing vessels, they'll get to us. Maybe they can't.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll try, but maybe they can't get to you in time. Now,
Yep.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, you got to have a plan with the crew that you have.
And then the captain's trying to get his on, but the safety raft on, but now you have this new guy that's never even seen a life, like a safety suit on, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
don't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
Now what do you do, right?
Yeah. So no, it's the with the emergency drills and that requirement, Transport Canada is really cracking down on that. They want to see them documented. And if they think that you're trying to pull the wool over their eyes, they'll make you do the drills.
Yeah.
Right. And
No.
that's only helping everybody. That's helping the people on the boat, but it's also helping their families.
Well, it's like a person who got their driver's license. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
how do you know? Yeah, do it. Show me.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's the practical part of it. It's not a race because you always learn from doing these drills, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I do the medical side of it, because I was a volunteer fireman for many, many, many years, we talk about the medical stuff. Like, in when you take a first aid course, I always ask, what does ABC stand for? What's the rate of CPR? What are the two numbers? And I just get blank stares because you take the course, but you never use it.
That's the thing. Yeah.
You forget it. If you're not using it, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
So ABC is airway, breathing, and circulation. So if you get somebody that's been in the water for more than 10 minutes, hypothermia is set in. So you need to make sure they're breathing, that they haven't swallowed a ton of water.
Mm-hmm.
Is air going in? Is their chest rising? Right? And then you're going to check circulation. You're going to check to see fingers and toes, right? Is blood flowing? Because if not, then you got to open up the immersion suit. You're going to open it up anyway, possibly if they're in an immersion suit to do, your ABCs. And then the numbers you need for CPR, 30 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But people just forget.
Yeah. Oh, because they got it. Okay, it's time to go to work. That's fine. But what happens when the guy driving the boat takes a heart attack?
Right.
You can't navigate and you can't remember your CPR. So it leaves that other guy like, well, I can navigate and I got my CPR, but now what do we, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't do it either.
And the other thing is, and I've seen this countless times in emergency situations, is when there is an emergency, when there's smoke, when there's fire, when there's blood, when it's pouring down rain and the captain says, okay, we got to abandon ship. Well, that's a pretty serious thing because we know you're safest in the boat.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But when there's a true emergency, people will panic. That's not a fault of anybody's. Everybody responds differently in different scenarios, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you introduce smoke or fire or blood or anything like that, some people just can't handle it. They cannot do it. That's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's why everybody should take first aid training.
Yep.
Because somebody will, I'm okay with this.
And that's the thing too. When you're on a boat, it's usually something pretty serious. Like it's not like a Band-Aid fix kind of thing, right?
Yeah. It's and if you have a fire, the fire department's not going to be there.
No, you are the fire department.
You are the fire department.
You are the fire department.
So it's little things like that you need. You have to have a fire bucket. That's under regulations.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to have a rope attached to your fire bucket. That's a regulation. It's not a hard regulation, but it's a requirement. But people don't think about that. I've seen many fire buckets with no rope on it. Unless you got those Inspector Gadget arms that extend
that can reach
water, right? How are you going to put the fire out? So it's all of those things. But when there is a true emergency and panic sets in, that's why the practice is so important, because the practice will help you get what your responsibility is and help you get through it.
Well, they call it a drill for a reason, right? To drill it into your head, basically. This is your responsibility.
Repeat and do. And that's, as a trainer, that's what I focus on, is making it easy to understand and easy to do. There's no wrong, but there's a better way, or think about it this way. Did you try this? right?
Yeah.
It's different things. And again, I get that feedback from people in the participants.
Yep.
They'll say, well, what
Absolutely.
about this? Okay, share it, please.
So where do you think? So here's my question: is it Transport Canada that'll come aboard the boat, or is it you guys that say, "Show me your wheelhouse logbook"? Because someone wants to see it.
That's Transport Canada and
Okay.
or the provincial regulations, which is Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration here in Nova Scotia. Okay,
All right.
it's not us. We are not a regulator. We are here to help you understand the regulations and to show you what is the requirements for your vessel, because
Mm,
there's equipment that you need to have on board based on the length of your fishing vessel, as an example. There's
mm,
requirements from the province that a lot of them marry together because they know it's occupational health and safety, right? So the
mm.
province has a regulation, and Transport Canada, fire extinguishers, they have to be certified every year. That's a Transport Canada regulation, but it's also provincial regulation, right? Because
Okay.
it's a business. At home, you don't have to have them inspected, right?
Hmm.
You should still check them,
Oh,
but
absolutely. Like your
in a
smoke detectors, right?
commercial business, you have to show and get it inspected by an outside party.
Okay. Now, you've done this for many years. Is there any crazy thing that you've ever saw when you were doing your, you know, boarding a vessel or anything like that, like gear wise? Or I stumped you,
Um,
didn't I?
I've seen a few good ones, and this one happened to me. I was
Hey.
climbing down a ladder, wasn't really focused on what I was doing, and slipped. Thank heavens I had 3 points of contact, because the only thing that was holding me from going in the water or bouncing off the side of the vessel was I had one hand on the rung.
Okay.
And it can happen just like that.
Well, especially anyone in the dark, well, because usually when fishermen go out, it's in the dark, right?
Yep. Yep.
It can happen. It's
It's that fast. A slip, a trip, a fall. It's all of those things. And we talk about it. It sounds funny to say, okay, you're getting out of your car, Justin, and
Mhm,
you're going to the boat. Take a look down.
mhm.
What's on the ground? Is there ice? Is it wet? Is it slippery? Right? We don't think about those things. We've all had that thing where you jump out of your car, you're going to go in, and it's Friday, you're home, you're done, you're
Mhm.
off the boat, whatever, and you get out of your car and you end up on your backside
Yep.
because you didn't check the footing.
Hmm. Well, it's not even that. Like, you're getting out of your car in the morning to go to the boat, and it's like, it's not overly bright.
Yeah,
It's dark. It's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever.
yeah,
People are still trying to wake up, and you're walking pitch black with a black hoodie on, black hair, your gym pants on. Car comes, sees you too late. It makes a point of that's why you need your high vis on, right?
yeah. The jacket, with the reflective tape on it. Yeah, and 100%. And that's also a requirement under Transport Canada for fishing vessels. Your vest has to have reflective tape on it. That is a requirement. Doesn't apply necessarily to, you know, um, pleasure craft, but under Transport Canada, all life vests, all immersion suits have to have the reflective tape.
Hmm.
Just because if they're out there and there's any bit of light, the reflective tape will light it up.
Yeah, and it'll catch your eye too,
Yep.
right?
Yep. It's just another way to say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Now, have you noticed over the last, I don't know, we'll say 3 years, has the numbers went up with these courses? Like people wanting them more now? Is it becoming more and more in demand?
Yeah, it is. And part of that is because the big one there, as I mentioned earlier, was the requirement from Transport Canada Marine to actually do your emergency drills. That spurred a lot of conversation on. And we've been giving out the Wheelhouse Logbook for a number of years. And we know there's lots of copies out there, but people aren't filling them out. So
Yeah.
we we said, okay, let's do a class and sit down and start and go through each section, answers all the questions. And it's any question, it doesn't matter,
Mhm.
right? You don't have to be embarrassed, because if you're
No.
asking a question, Justin,
Yeah.
Somebody else in the room, Susan or Jimmy, is going to don't want to ask that question, but they got that question.
Yeah, they got it. They just didn't want to ask it, right? And
Right.
listen, I
Right.
don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions.
No,
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
nope, nope, not at all. So it's something that we offer. We love to do it. We also do it virtually if you've got your copy, and I do it basically the same way. It's a
So,
Zoom meeting, and we just go through it from start to finish.
so if someone were to sign up for this course online, do you guys mail them a copy of the book to go through it with them or online?
They can download it
Hmm.
from our website, so they
Okay.
have it. It's all done in PDF. You can print it off, or you can send us, reach out to us. We'll get you a book one way or the other.
Hmm.
You can fill it out that way, or go to your local fishing association and say, what about a Wheelhouse Logbook course?
Hmm.
Because sometimes some of the associations know or don't know. And I'm just doing that now for the rest of Nova Scotia, trying to get courses and man overboard drills and stuff, getting them geared up.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that took the course last year, like your group, as an example. So
Hmm.
I'm going to reach out to Colin and say, okay, Colin, here's the regulations that have changed. Let's do a little 3-hour session.
Hmm.
You don't need to do the full course because you've already got the Wheelhouse Logbook, but here's the things that have changed.
Yeah.
And we just replace the stuff in your book because it's a replaceable book, right? You can
Hmm.
replace a page or a section or whatever, and then you're done. You're updated. You're good. When the people take that course that hadn't taken it before, their version of the Wheelhouse Logbook will be up to date. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we went to the 3-ring binder version. It just makes
So
changing
much easier.
or adding a section in.
But even to take this course now, it's getting easier and easier. People don't even have to leave their home. They can do it. It's getting so easy for people, and it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
It costs you nothing.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm just in the process of doing now with the Wheelhouse Safety Logbook, like I say, it's available online as a PDF. You can download the whole thing or just a tab, whatever. But we're making it, and this is a tongue twister when I say it, but it's referred to as an editable PDF. So a lot of vessels have computers on board.
Yep.
Right?
Hmm.
And so they'll be able to download it right to the computer, and they'll be able to go right in and type it in, and it'll be all filled out.
It's
And
even easier.
yeah, they'll be able to save it right there. Because even if you're a 75-foot boat, these rules apply to you.
Yep. Yeah,
Right?
I know. It's crazy though. Like the safety. Like who would think? Oh, because for years there was really nothing put in place. Like you just go and like some made it home and some unfortunately didn't. Right.
Right. And that's the safety laws are always based on it's already.
Hmm.
And our goal is to share as much knowledge as we can and make it as easy as we can for people to follow the rules and the regulations. Yeah, it's not a hard course. It's a little bit of your time, but it at least gets you thinking in the mindset of looking after your employees. How hard is it to get people to go fishing?
Right.
Right? So you're going to train them.
Takes 2 seconds from on the board. Put that suit on. I want to see if it fits you.
Yep.
Okay, fit you. Here's your fire extinguishers. Here's what you got to do with it.
Yeah.
2 minutes before you even leave the wharf. That all takes 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, it's something that we as an organization, we stress that this training it's so important. And it's the same with processing and other things. They may not have a program or they may have part of a program. We're here to help.
Yeah.
That's what our job is.
So what's next for Fish Safe Nova Scotia? So any big plans for the future?
Well, when you're recording this show, today's the 9th of January. We're off to the boat show in Yarmouth. That's
Okay.
coming up. We did the one in Moncton last year and made some good contacts. So it's just about going out and spreading the word. We just finished our board of directors meeting yesterday, January the 8th, and we're still going to go back and we're going to focus on PFDs. We've got a really neat little competition. Show us your PFDs on your crew and submit your picture, and you'll be entered in to win possibly a couple of PFDs and maybe some coffee cups. Who knows, right?
Okay.
But it's I don't want to say it's the same old because we want to try and rehash, but we're definitely going to be doing the logbook drills, or the man overboard drill, the logbook training and all that. Because now we've got a year under our belt from when we started the full course in person. So now we got to go back and update everybody because the rules have changed.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's part of a responsible business, is you have to know when the rules change, and we do that for you. We'll have everything you need to put in your version of the Wheelhouse Logbook last year, just to update it.
Just an update. And like you said, it's a workplace. It's a requirement to have it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now, do you guys go all year doing this, or is it just like, say, from
364 days of the year?
Okay. So so you guys are constantly offering courses, and
it's something we do. I'll come to and we'll do a man overboard drill anytime. People just have to arrange it. We want to get out there, and if you've got 3 or 4 buddies of yours that haven't filled out their Wheelhouse Logbook, you get together, you find us a place. I don't care if it's in somebody's kitchen.
Yeah.
Come do it.
Yeah, see, like I said, it's becoming so easy now to take these courses. Like you just said, well, I'll go into the kitchen, right, to do it.
I've done that in the past in other jobs, that I'll go sit in the kitchen and sit down because they're a little bit embarrassed or whatever. It doesn't matter. I want everybody.
And that's the thing. It's not like you're going to, when you're taking these courses, if people do have reading problems or whatever, it's not like you're going to call them out in front of everybody to, there was none of that when I took it anyway. There was none of that. It was just you doing what we're doing here, talking.
Yeah, we're just having conversations. And like I say, sometimes the regulators like Transport Canada Marine are there, or the provincial occupational health and safety officers are there. They're there to show and talk about any questions, right? Anything that may pop up that Gary didn't talk about, or you have well, what about this scenario? What about that scenario? We're there to educate. And that's one thing that I got to give full marks to the Provincial Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration. Their officers are there to help. If you're doing your thing and making your notes and all that, they want to help. Okay? They're not there to write a ticket. They are there to talk safety and to help educate you and work with you. Same with Transport Canada Marine. Like, all the officers that I've met are just, they promote our Wheelhouse Logbook, they talk about it, and they come and join us. It's great.
I'm actually going to try to reach out to Brian to see if we can get him on here and talk a bit about some of the regulations.
Good. Yeah. Brian or Rob Freak is he looks after all the inspectors in the province here. They're great people. They want to help.
Yeah, they're not there to punish you or anything. It takes 2 seconds to ask a question. Hey, is this any good now, or should I? 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, 100%. And they're there to help. Now, if you're not following the rules again and again and again, well, sometimes it can take actions.
You're going to need to do something to.
Yeah. But that's the same with any law, right? Speeding laws are there. Yeah, you may speed all the time, but at some point, something's going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
That's why we want to make this as accessible as we can to any boat that's in the industry.
Yeah. And like I said, it's pick up the phone up. Like, I reached out to you the other day by email to see if you'd want to do this podcast with me, and it's response right away, right?
Yeah. Like I say, I give my people my card, and I say, you can call me, you can text me, you can email me. And I am very proud to say that I return my texts, my emails, my calls.
Right away, too.
I may be standing in front of a course, but at the end of the day, I sit down and I respond to all my emails and texts. I think we have to make the contact, and I understand that everybody's busy, but we want to help, and we'll help the best way that we can. My schedule is open, if I need to come and do a course on a Sunday, I've done it.
Yeah, I remember you actually telling me that last year that you had you had to do
matter
one.
to me. I want to help everybody get this course and have the conversation around safety.
And like I said, it's a pretty interesting course. It's not hard. There's no test.
No, there's no
If
test.
there's people wondering, there's no quiz at the end of the day. You come, you do your thing, you ask questions, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah. You take your book and you start filling it in, and you keep the records. If you have a question 2 months down the road, you send Gary a text and say, Gary, page 17 in tab 2. What do I need to do there? And I'll tell you.
Well, even if you're nervous to ask a question even if you're nervous to ask a question, you still stick around a bit at the end of the course. Say, go up, hey Gary, I didn't quite understand this.
Yep.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for us. We've been
We have our website. There's the Wheelhouse Logbook is available there, free as a download. We also have our almost world famous vessel safety equipment requirement sheets. They're there to download. You can keep them right on your phone. We also give these out when people take their courses. We say, how long is your boat? How many feet is your vessel? And they spell out all the requirements from Transport Canada, fishing vessel safety regulations. So we have all kinds of different.
I just have one more question for you too. Do you have the dates on you when are they handy right now to let people know about the online courses? Or
the next course I have coming up will be January the 15th, and go to our Facebook site or our Instagram site. We also post it I have a little blog on our website, fishsafens.ca. And we also have the calendar there of the dates. I've got them all ready posted for 2025.
All right.
And we do one every month.
So there, anyone listening, there you go. Download Zoom and sign up for it.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you a thing.
It's all free.
Yep.
All right, Gary, I want to thank you for giving some time. I know you're probably extremely busy.
Just getting geared up for the boat show. And if anybody is interested, I'm not sure when you're going to publish this, but it's next weekend in Yarmouth, 17th and 18th. If you hit our Facebook page, there's free tickets, complimentary tickets there. You can download and go, and it's a great show. I did the one in Moncton last year because they rotate between Moncton and Yarmouth.
Okay.
And so the Yarmouth one it's big. It's huge. So
Yarmouth.
It's a really nice show.
Okay. I'm not I know they had one in Moncton a few years ago, but this was like an outdoor hunting and fishing and
this is specific to the fishing industry.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a great show.
Might have to mention that to Colin then.
There you go. Go for a little road trip.
There you go. All right, Gary, thank you.
All right, have a great day.
You too. So can we actually see what these binders look like? Maybe walk us through a little bit of it?
So here's what it is. It's a old school 3-ring binder that we've created. You probably use them in school. It's a little thicker because we put in everything that meets the requirements under the province, under occupational health and safety, and under Transport Canada Marine. So when you open it up, everything is in there, and it's all done in tabs. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the tabs.
Oh, yeah, right there on the side there, yeah.
And each tab is numbered. So tab number 1 is captain standing orders. Tab number 2 is emergency contacts. So, for example, under emergency contacts, if you're injured, right, the captain might have to call your wife or your partner, whatever the case may be, and say, okay, Justin is injured. Does he have any medication? Or you have an allergy. The captain can write it in there, right? So it just stuff like that. Onboard familiarization, we talked about that. That's the checklist of things that you need to show everybody if they're new on the vessel, and they have to be on the vessel. First aid kit, fire extinguisher, where are they? That type of stuff, right? Tab number 4 is the safety drills, the man overboard drills, the fire drills. That's the required drills that Transport Canada makes you do. Everything is there. It's just a checklist. You run through the drills, check off what's applicable, and sign off. You and your crew sign off on it. It's done. That meets the requirement that Transport Canada is looking for.
Okay.
The next section is the maintenance log. That's, again, we put a couple of samples in there. They may work for your vessel or not, but we put blank pages in the back as well, so you can make it specific to your vessel. Because under Transport Canada marine regulations, you have to keep documents for 7 years in that section, right?
Yeah.
And then the next section is just the general log that the captain just writes different things down. Like today we caught, 50,000 pounds of fish.
Can you actually show us a page of what they look like?
Yep. So here's an example here's the safety drills and logs. So anytime you do your drills, you can just write it in.
That easy.
That easy. It's all blank. You just write it in with a pen. You're done. When that page is full, we put others in there, but when the page is full or the section is full, you can go to our website and download just that one tab to print it and put it back in your binder. Right?
Okay.
So the other thing, so there's more tabs in there, but you get the idea. The other thing that we also put in there, and I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to say this tongue in cheek. If you have trouble sleeping, the back of this book is for you. There's a requirement under occupational health and safety regulations in the province of Nova Scotia and actually anywhere in Canada that all businesses must have a copy of the Occupational Health and Safety Act and regulations. We've already got it in your book.
Okay.
It's all there.
It's so there for you.
Everything is in one neat binder. We also put in a copy of the fishing vessel safety regulations under Transport Canada Marine. So yeah, everything is there. There's other stuff in there as well. We put some stickers in there, PFD stickers. The other thing that's really cool that a lot of places don't know about is this little sticker here, make the right call. Under occupational health and safety laws in the province, this number has to be on display in the workplace. So employees can call, or if you have a question and you can't get a hold of me, you can call this number. They can answer your question 24/7, 365. That has to be on display in every workplace. So we just got them printed as a sticker.
Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't lose it.
No, that's right. The other thing that's in here, and we get questions on this, and I actually ran into these folks last year at the boat show in Moncton, is we put the Canadian Beacon Registry sticker in there. Just a reminder that if something changes, you have to let these people know about your EPIRB. If the contact numbers change, or if you're decommissioning one and putting in a new one, you got to let these people. So that's all the stuff that's in there. Of course, my card and my contact information is in there. So yeah, that's basically, we made it a 3-ring binder so that it can be updated. When you run out of a page, you hit our website, you download it. You only have to print the 1 or 2 pages you need. You don't have to re-download the whole
book. Yeah, no, you only need 1 or 2 pages.
So that's what it is. I've had questions and comments. Well, it's not waterproof. What if the vessel goes down? Everybody has 1 or 2 of these devices. Take a picture.
Yep.
When you update a page, take a picture. Just make it a habit. Take a picture. It's automatically uploaded to the cloud. Even if your phone gets wet.
Well, even if you're out, you're taking pictures of the sun every morning. So what difference when you're trying to take a picture of your book?
Bingo. Yep. 100%. 100%. So that's what it looks like. It's a little bit bulky, but it's everything that the captain needs.
And it covers you.
Yep.
It covers you.
Yep. 100%.